All right, so here's where I've actually built out this Indeed job scraper and resume customizer. Now, I originally got the original idea from a guy named Nick. I think it's Sarev. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but he had the initial idea. What I did was kind of expanded on it and tried to turn it into something that I could deliver as almost like a SaaS. But I'll kind of break down how this works. I'm still putting like finishing touches on it to get the quality of the resume output better. But this is the automation in make.com that makes this all possible. So let me show you what you actually get as an output with this. Now, for some reason, the formatting of the Google Sheets is really weird right here. So I'll work on that as well. But what this is doing is I put in like I was looking for, I forget what job I used as a term here, but I pulled like a procurement manager position. I only pulled one just to test this because it does cost me money every time I run it. But it pulled this job from Indeed, showed that it was just posted the other day when I created this. Shows what the pay was, and it's a contract position, where it's located, who it's for, and then this is the description, which is what's throwing off the formatting here. But here I have it output also a link, so you can click on this link and go directly to the job to apply. And then here is the actual custom resume that's designed to go with that particular job, right? So what would happen is you would get a list of these. You'd have a list of all these various different jobs, and each resume would be customized for that specific job. And then there will be a link for each job to go and apply, and then you can upload your customized resume. So that's basically what the output would end up being for this. So you'd fill out a form, and I just basically created a form in WebSim, I believe, as my front end. All right, so WebSim's pretty fantastic with this. So basically, how this works, I needed just a simple front end, and it created this AI resume assistant. I actually have to put a paywall up though, because again, this does cost every time it's run. But these are basically the things that I put in here. So I said I want a website interface for web app that does blah 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 blah, and I gave it some of the fields that I wanted it. And basically, it's a real simple form. You'll put your name, your email address, the type of job you're looking for, the state you're in, so we can search by the state in Indeed, and then you can upload a copy of your resume. Right now, though, for this MVP, I'm actually going to change this to just copy and paste your resume in here. Building it out to read the PDFs or the Word docs and everything will be a future enhancement, but I do just want to make this simple and easy for folks to be able to use right now. So you just take and copy and paste your resume information here and click submit. What happens then is it's going to hit this webhook. So this webhook is then going to capture all the information from that form. It's going to send it over. It's going to send some of the information over to this app called Appify or Apify, however you pronounce it. What it's going to do is going to pull the state you're in from the form that you submitted. You can see the webhook thing kind of flashing there. It's also going to pull in the job type, and it's going to pull it into this JSON here. And it's going to send this off to a scraper that's located in Apify or Appify, right? So that's this here. So it does cost, every time I run it, it might cost like, I think it's like 5 cents to pull like 10. I think this was like, I only pulled one there just to test it out. So let's say 5 cents for 10 or what have you. I also get charged for each operation that runs through here on make.com. So there's a small cost to it. Just to be transparent. All right. So anyway, it's going to use Apify to actually go and scrape Indeed information based on the state you put and the job type you're looking for. So right now I have this set at 1 because I was testing, but I'll probably set this to like 10 or 20. So for the $5 you probably pay, you get 20 listings pulled and 20 custom resumes. So I think that's a pretty good deal. And then basically this tool is just going to have it wait 4 minutes. It's going to have the automation to wait 4 minutes, kind of a sleep setting. And it takes about, for 10 or 20, it might take like 30 seconds. So what'll happen is this will pause the automation for 30 seconds while Apify scrapes the Indeed post. And then it will go again, and it's going to create a Google Drive where it's going to put your resume. So it's going to create the Google Drive first that will house your resumes. Then it's going to create that Google Sheet that we were talking about. And then it's going to get the share link for you. All right. So I had all these get set up first. All right. Then after all these folders are set up where your information will be housed, then it'll run that same scraper. It'll pull the information that was scraped here and send it over to ChatGPT. So each and every listing will be fed into ChatGPT. ChatGPT will have a copy of the information you put in the, it'll have a copy of the information that you put in the description on your experience. So here, this is actually going to pull it from that first webhook where you put it in the form. So it's going to take your information and it's going to run it through. So I gave it a few examples of what it wants to do, but here I kind of give it the instructions. Your writing assistant, below is a resume of a job post, yada, yada. And I'm basically really trying to tweak this so it doesn't make up things. The first times I ran this, it made up stuff as far as my job descriptions and things like that. So I'm really trying to perfect this prompt where it doesn't make up anything. It doesn't hallucinate any job skills because you don't want that in your resume. And it's going to do this formatting here to make sure that it comes out in a nice format. And then we give it some examples of what this might look like. If they get this input, this is what the job post would look like, and this is what the resume should look like, right? So this is just giving it some examples of how it should respond. And then here's where we'll pull in your resume information from that first form. And then it's going to match it up with the job description that was scraped from Apify. All right. And it's going to match those up and kick out the resume. So this here is going to actually change the formatting from that markdown that I had it type it out into HTML. Then it's going to transfer it into a Google Doc. So each resume will be turned into a Google Doc, which will then be housed in this Google Drive over here that was set up at first. And then we'll add a row like we saw on the Google Sheet to this Google Sheet. So for each job, there'll be a resume and the job listing, kind of like here. All right. If we can't get the formatting right, don't worry about it. It'll still be there. But the formatting was acting fine at first. Now it's going weird. All right. Then finally, once all of that is done, your 10 or 20 resumes are made and your 10 or 20 listings are added to this Google Sheet. It's going to aggregate all of that and it's going to send you out one link to this Google Drive, as well as I think it sends you a link to the Google Sheet as well. So it's going to send you an email to the email address that you put in that webhook earlier, right? It's going to pull it from there. It's going to copy me so I can see, who else using it. And then it's actually going to have your name here. It'll pull that from the form. It's going to do an introduction. We set it up, give you a link to that spreadsheet, like I mentioned, and a link to your Google Drive so you can access all of your resumes. And I got some information here for you all to contact me or follow me or whatever. So that's how this whole automation is set up. Again, by the time I actually do release this, we will have a small paywall I'll set up just so it, like I said, so we can cover the cost. Because there is a cost for running the automation, there's a cost for scraping the sites, and there's also a cost for using ChatGPT. So it's not a whole bunch, so I'm not going to charge anything crazy, but I'm thinking like around $5 when I'm estimating per run, and it may give you, I'll do the math, I think it'll be like 10 or 20 that we'll be able to scrape for you at a pretty fair price. So if you like that, cool. I should have by the time I release this video, I'll have a link to the actual working app that you can go in and use. And again, it'll pull from the form and you'll get an email in about under 10 minutes. It doesn't really take that long, but in about maybe 5 to 10 minutes, you should have an email with a link to your Google spreadsheet as well as your Google Drive with all the customized resumes. So I hope you like that. I hope this does some help for somebody that's listening, that's looking for a job. Again, I'll try to perfect this as much as I can to make it give the best possible outputs for the resume, but I do have it sending this out in a Google Doc so that you can go in and make edits to it, right? So if it kicks it out and you see something that doesn't make sense or you want to add something, it'll be in a Google Doc, but it is pretty good format already. But you can copy and paste this and put it into whatever format you like if you don't like this basic format. But I did just want to get something that was simple and easy for anybody to use and get you started. But it's really cool to have a customized resume for various different job listings. In the past, you'd have to maybe go into ChatGPT single-handedly and look for these jobs on your own, then copy and paste it into ChatGPT, get to kick you out a custom resume and do it. So you could do this manually, but it would take a lot more time and effort versus $5 and you can get 20 of them done for you. So that's all I have right now. Definitely leave me, any questions or whatever in the comments. And if this did any good for you, feel free to like and subscribe. I'll be doing a lot more of these builds for you. And I will start a school community, I believe, pretty soon, where if you are interested in doing these types of automations, we'll have these blueprints in there for you, and you can just kind of copy and paste and have your own automation running on your own. And I'll show you how to build lots of other different cool software. So that's all I got for now, and I'll see you in the next video.